What's up, chess player? I'm continuing my speed run, and this time I want to play the King's Indian Defense and show you how you should do it. Hopefully, not playing this professionally, so it's gonna be difficult for me. I don't have that much of experience. My opponent is playing e3. By the way, 2300 rated player, a very strong player. So yeah, that is a really high level game. d6, I want to just bring all of my pieces, play e5. My opponent is playing very fast, so I shouldn't be too slow. And I want to create some tension in the center, maybe to put some pressure on his position, because obviously it's very solid there. c6. I'm absolutely sure at some point it's gonna be sharp, and there's gonna be a lot of tactics, but at the moment it's a very solid for both sides. Queen, I guess, should go to c7 to avoid being on the same file with the opponent's rook. It's always a bad thing. He's playing bishop a3, which is interesting. It's controlling this diagonal, and this diagonal is blocked by the pawn on e5, so maybe I should play e4. Although it's quite a commitment, because the pawn might be weak there. Let's go for it, because it feels like the most active move for me. I'm gonna play knight e4, knight e5, and bishop d6. That is something I missed there. I don't think that is a huge problem. Even b4, because I was expecting knight d4 and then queen g5, but now I'm forced to lose a lot of time, which I don't really like. Yeah, so you always should make sure that your queen has some space, some squares to go, because I might get into trouble here. Queen h5. Hopefully I'm still not losing it. Knight d2. Now at least I can go to f5 in comparison to the move knight d4, where it was impossible. Actually, I don't think, if I'm not losing the pawn, then I don't think that knight d2 is a good move, because it feels very passive. It goes to g3 now. Yeah, it might be not in time to play h7, h4, unfortunately. How could I use the time right now? Maybe knight g4, threatening f2 pawn? Because that would also open up the bishop here. That feels good. I'm probably getting those pair of bishops. I'm getting my bishop activated, and I'm getting the d3 square potentially for my knight. That would be a dream. By the way, knight e5 immediately was also possible, I guess, but yeah, knight g3 was very annoying. Now I kind of avoid that problem. And also, I felt like my queen doesn't really have a lot of squares. Now, with this exchange, I'm sure that my queen would be fine. Maybe I'm too optimistic. Maybe if I play knight d3 f5, then my queen would be in trouble again. Doesn't feel that way though, because I always have this h4 square. Maybe that is a legitimate plan. f5, knight e5, and these are knight d3 or queen h4 knight. Knight g4. Okay. The question is, can I play knight e5 now? I guess I can, because I'm threatening knight f3. Can't really take on. Can you take? No. At the end of the day, you lose an exchange there. So knight e5 should be good. Unless there is h3. And I don't have any good square for my queen. That might be the case. Because knight f3, just king f1, king h1, and I don't have time for anything. The attack is dangerous though. Even if I just step back, I take the knight, I take it with a queen, with a check, go somewhere, and then I take with a bishop, threatening checkmate. That feels very dangerous. Okay, and now I thought that if I have those powerful bishops, then in every case that should be good for me. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe not that much. So now the pawn is really hanging. I should either play bishop f5 or f5. I really want to play f5 if I'm not losing there, but I can't really imagine how I lose with a pair of bishops. Just one move away from finishing my development with bishop e6, then I can focus on my attack somehow. But of course, now the bishop is somehow cut away from the from the attack. From this point of view, a little bit more complicated, but I can always play f4 once I prepare it somehow. Takes an f4 to attack that pawn. But for now, I just want to play bishop e6, not only finishing the development, also creating another threat for my opponent. Always want to make the life miserable for your opponent. That is the strategy to success in chess. It works on all levels, by the way. I did 2. You could already feel that my opponent is feeling a little bit of passive there. f4. Yeah, I'm not sure. Guess I'm gonna start with bishop e6. I mean, knight d4, I can just step back, and then you don't have access to the d7 square. You can go back, but I don't know. I feel like there should be something there. Okay, g3. He wants just to stop the whole opportunity for me altogether. Maybe even play knight f4. How do I continue here? Maybe bring my queen back. Attacking the pawn there, because my bishops are working on both sides of the board. That is the power of 2 bishops. The question is how I use it. Maybe I play g5 just to stop knight g5, and then in the right moment I play the move f4. Maybe king h8 and rook g8, ideas like that. Even the second idea to the second rook to f8. As long as the rooks don't penetrate along the d file, it's not dangerous for me at all. So let's see. He also needs to deal with those pawns, because a3, I even have the move a5, and a3 is still a problem. Okay, now I guess I can take and grab the c file, or just start with rook c8, and then into a4, I guess it goes into the same position. I mean, having bishops normally means that you should try to open up the position. Maybe queen c5 is another move, because how do you defend that? Till here, everything is under control. You could see how flexible my position is. The queen was on g5, seemingly creating some checkmating ideas, and now suddenly it's on c5, creating a positional threat, or a tactical threat of winning a pawn. So it's very good when your position is flexible. You can create threats on all parts of the board. I definitely want to take with the queen to still make the c file opened for my rook. And I don't see any way to save the c4 pawn. Maybe knight d4 was an idea with a pin. And then he gets some counterplay. And knight d4 is an interesting idea. Rook c8, knight d4, takes, takes, and he gets to d7. That is at least pretty good for him. Maybe I should play bishop f7. I mean, that gives him some time, and I don't really like that. But I hope that after knight d4 I have queen a6, and then still I'm in time to play rook c8. That is my plan. I am playing queen a6 because I don't want to allow the move knight to b5. And also I'm still keeping the position complicated. That is very important. Yeah, here I was going to play rook c8 because you still can't take. The rook is hanging. I mean, the queen is hanging. Otherwise, yeah, I guess I want to take. I don't know if you have g4 or something like that. Create some counterplay. Yeah, he just resigned here, probably because he doesn't really have enough time. Okay, hope it was instructive. Very fascinating game here. Hit the like button if you did enjoy it. And in this video, or maybe in this one, I don't know, you're gonna see another incredible game that I have played, completely outplayed my opponent, shown you what kind of challenges you get at 2000 level. Very, very instructive, so definitely take a look at it.